All right, so let's take a look here at the 6 pillars for the Microsoft Zero Trust model, starting with the most important one, identities. And this verifies and secures each identity with strong authentication across your entire digital estate. And so for each of these pillars, we're going to talk about some of the related services. I'm not going to describe what they do because we're definitely going to be covering them all in this course in great detail. But I want you to get some exposure so you see all these names again and again and again, okay? So the first is IAM. The next one is Azure Active Directory, and this one gets a lot of attention in this course. They might as well call this the Azure Active Directory Security course. We have single sign-on, MFA, passwordless authentication, which is a subset of MFA, risk-based policies, identity secure score, and you'll see like 3 different types of secure score in this course. So something that is very useful throughout Microsoft and Azure. We have endpoints, and it's easy to think of these as devices because their endpoints are used to gain visibility into devices accessing the network, ensuring compliance and health status before granting access. The endpoint is what grants access. For this, we have Azure AD Device Manager to register our devices with our identity provider. Generally, the controls underneath, which is mobile device management and mobile application management, is managed by Intune. And this service is now actually part of Microsoft Endpoint Manager. And if we want to get a protection around our endpoints, then we have Microsoft Defender for endpoints. But we got Defender for everything in this course, and you'll see that soon enough. Then you have DLPs, so data loss prevention policies, so we do not lose our data, so that we it does not get disclosed, and we can keep our data, our sensitive data, protected, right? For apps, we have Discover Shadow IT, so ensure appropriate in-app permissions, gate access based on real-time analytics, and monitor control user actions. So for this, we have policy-based access controls. We can use the Microsoft Cloud App Security, Azure AD Application Proxy, Cloud Discovery, or I suppose that could have been e-discovery. There's definitely a spelling mistake there, so I think it's just supposed to be Cloud Discovery. We have just-in-time virtual machine access. Onto the last 3 pillars, we have data. So move from perimeter-based data protection to data-driven protection. Use intelligence to classify and label data. Encrypt and restrict access based on organizational policies. So here we can use sensitivity labels, Microsoft Information Protection, data classification, Azure Information Protection, so AIP scanner, decision-based policies, and data loss prevention. All of this stuff is in the Microsoft, if you're doing it on the Microsoft side, it's the M3, can I type text in here? No, I can't. But it's the M365 Compliance Center. This is where all this stuff comes into play. We'll see later on. So infrastructure used telemetry to detect attacks and anomalies, automatically block and flag risk behaviors, and employ least privilege access principles. So here we can use the Azure Security Center, Azure AD Managed Identities, user and resource segmentation, VNets, peering rules, privilege identity management, NSGs, ASGs, Azure Firewall, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, Microsoft Defender for Identity, Azure Sentinel. And the last one here is network. I hate doing networking, but it's core to cloud, So ensure devices and users aren't trusted just because they're on an internal network. Encrypt all internal communications, limit access by policy, and employ micro-segmentation, real-time threat detection. So here we can do network segmentation, Azure DDoS Protection Service, Azure Firewall, the WAF, VPNs, proxies, bastions, SSL, TLS. And so there you go. That is all the pillars.